This is Reverend Dick. How y'all doing? Today I got a fucking story for you. Well, two stories in actuality. But anyhow, links will be in the description together with links to my social media. So let's get started. Morgan Johansson, the Migration Minister of Sweden. Very difficult to set limits on immigration. I wonder why. I'll show you in the next article. Migration Minister Morgan Johansson from the Social Democrats believe it would be very difficult to set a limit on how many asylum immigrants Sweden should receive. This is reported by the Swedish radio. The moderates wants to reduce Sweden's asylum reception by about 70% to put the country at the same levels as neighboring Norway, Finland and Denmark. In absolute terms, there are currently 5,000 to 8,000 asylum seekers per year there. The volume target is part of the moderate so-called entry values for the parliamentary migration inquiry that start next week and where all parliamentary parties are represented. Their proposal comes at least 10 years too late, commented Sweden Democrats leader Jimmy Åkesson, who wants to set the volume target at significantly lower levels. Well, he wants to stop it completely, but I will make a video on that later. Migration Minister Morgan Johansson also saws the moderates play, albeit for entirely different reasons. He does not believe that a limit can be set for the reception at all. The Syrian war is coming to an end, but there may be other unrest, and then we must be prepared to help in those parts as well. So it's very difficult to set up those kinds of objectives, says Johansson to Sweden's radio. Now this is the kind of shit. Why? Just why do we need to help? Why do we need to be prepared to help? We've helped more than enough, so they can fuck off. Government colleagues in the Environment Party are also critical of the moderates' volume goals. The significance of this is that when the need for protection for people is greatest, Sweden should be as repressive and as hard as, says migration policy spokesman Rasmus Ling. What the fuck? That's a really bad translation by Google. I won't cut that out. I'll leave it in there for sake of humor. Very dry, very bad kind of humor. But here's anyhow, the reason why it's hard to put an upper limit on it is because we have fucking activists working in tax-funded fucking boards and committees and everywhere that are political hires, plain and simple. And the Migration Board is one of them. Basically, after subjecting them to some polls, I think it was over 70% of them went on the environmental party's line when it came to the migration and everything like that, and are only in there to do work as an activist. So yeah, peace in Syria is a fact, but many Syrians will still be granted asylum in Sweden in the future. In any case, it plans the Migration Board, which announces its continued line today. The authority acknowledges in a letter that the level of conflict in some of Syria's provinces has dropped. Thus, the situation in the whole country is no longer considered to be such that everyone risks being affected by indiscriminate violence. This is evident from the Migration Board's new legal position on so-called protection needs for people from Syria, which is presented today. Although we see a reduced level of conflict in some provinces, many Syrians will continue to be granted asylum in Sweden due to the uncertain situation in the country, says Fredrik Beijer, Chief Justice of the Migration Board. In 6 provinces, the level of conflict remains, which means that everyone who lives there risk being indiscriminately affected, the authority believes. This applies to the province of Aleppo, Idlib and Raqqa, among others. No one residing there will be expelled there, according to the authority. So when Syria is in need of getting its people back, in many cases, I won't be too optimistic in giving a number, but say 20% of the people that came here actually went through some sort of education. They could go back to Syria, they could help rebuild Syria, they could help rebuild Iraq. They could be the new middle class, the one that lays to the groundworks for a prosperous middle class in the Middle East. But instead, a bunch of fucking activists in Sweden's Migration Board is like, no, we need to keep them here. Oh, don't be a racist. Ah. So yeah, this is the kind of bullshit you gotta deal with when you're a Swede. This is where all of my money goes that they steal from me every fucking month. So yeah, do you have any thoughts on this? You want to leave a comment, perhaps even leave a like on the video, hit the subscribe button, please share, check the description for links to the articles and social media. Take care.